You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon and welcome to ABC 7 News at 4. We are watching the beautiful weather out on the area beaches with that east wind. There's a lot more people out there. It's starting to enjoy the reason why a lot of people have moved here and vacation here. It is looking a lot better as a result of the east wind, a steady east wind over the last 5 days now. We showed you the midweek report last night, and it's showing less action as far as the red tide goes, and that may just be because of that east wind pulling most of that and pushing most of it off into the Gulf of Mexico. Still stretches though from Pinellas County all the way down to Collier County south of Fort Myers. We're getting a little bit more moisture in play too, as we expected. A chance for showers a little higher than it has been over the past couple of afternoons. Some storms even with some lightning inland near Wauchula, approaching Wauchula right now. Also some showers near Arcadia. A little bit of rainfall near Palmasola, heading off toward Holmes Beach. Expect a brief shower there in Holmes Beach, and then there's that storm now just to the east of Wauchula, producing some lightning there, and to the east thereof and northeast of Sebring, some shower activity. A few showers, spotty at best, just northeast of Northport at this time. Now we are looking at current conditions at the airport. We have a few clouds around. The temperature 87, east and northeast winds at 13, and the dew point 71. The pressure's been falling just a little bit, but we're still under the influence of this high pressure ridge over the southeast United States, and that means that easterly flow will continue. So good news for beachgoers on Friday as well, and it looks like it could stick into the weekend. We'll have more on that, and we'll take a look at that disturbance down to our south. A little bit better chance of it developing now over the next 5 days. More on that coming up in a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. Our top story, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office is investigating a small single-engine plane crash in Mayaca City. It happened around 2 o'clock this afternoon near the Rocky Creek Ranch. Deputies say one person believed to be the pilot is injured with non-life-threatening injuries. We will bring you updates on this story when we get new information. City of Sarasota has officially put out bids for the contractor who will re-nourish Lido Beach. But as it does, the group fighting the use of Big Pass sand has filed yet another lawsuit to stop the project. ABC 7's Taylor Torregano is live at Lido Beach with an update on the erosion. Taylor?
Scott, it's no question something needs to be done here. You can see how the sand only continues to erode closer and closer to the resorts and condos that line Lido's shore. It's why Sarasota's city manager calls this a critical emergency, saying sea levels only continue to rise and the erosion will just get worse at a rapid rate. The city's engineer just signed a project partner agreement with the Army Corps of Engineers. This provides a funding source for Lido Beach renourishment for the next 50 years, with sand being recycled to the beach when necessary approximately every 5 years. But a group of community members called Save Our Siesta Sand, who have been fighting this renourishment since 2013, now have a new strategy to stop this. The president says they're now suing the Army Corps of Engineers, giving them 60 days to respond with an environmental impact statement. Now, if the Army Corps of Engineers does not respond, this group tells me they will be moving forward with litigation. And while they do acknowledge that this area does need sand, they say taking it from Big Pass will mean the end of Siesta Beach as we know it. I'll have more details coming up at 6 p.m., but for now I'm live at Lido Beach. Taylor Torregano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Taylor, thank you. The local state of emergency in Sarasota has now been extended for additional 7 days. It was first put in place on August 15th due to the impacts from the red tide algae bloom. Now, Sarasota County will continue to coordinate countywide efforts, and if needed, an extension will be announced. Health officials in South Florida have shut down a number of public beaches because of red tide. Miami-Dade County officials say water samples showed elevated levels of the algae linked to red tide. The beach closures were done out of an abundance of caution. On its website, Palm Beach County cited reports of limited fish kills on certain beaches, saying cleanup efforts continue there. Red tide is now impacting beaches in North Florida, along the west coast of the state, and now in southeast Florida. In response to that new outbreak in South Florida, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection is offering $3 million to help mitigate the effects of red tide. DEP and the FWC have been in contact with each impacted county to ensure they have the resources needed. St. Petersburg police are asking the public to be on the lookout for 28-year-old Sydney Wyatt and her 1-year-old son named Future Johnson. Police say Wyatt and her son were last seen at 2:30 p.m. Wednesday. Wyatt's car was then found abandoned in Pinellas Park around 4 a.m. with a baby car seat inside. Police are asking anyone with information to call St. Pete Police at 727-893-7780. The Senate is inching closer to a crucial vote on Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Senators are reacting to a new FBI report looking into sexual misconduct allegations against him from more than 30 years ago. The potential confirmation vote could happen this weekend. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest now from Washington.
The countdown is on to a potential vote on Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. 100 senators making their way into a secure location throughout the day to review the FBI report on Kavanaugh.
So none of these last-minute allegations have been corroborated, as is confirmed by the 7th and latest FBI investigation.
2 of the 5 swing vote senators appear to be satisfied with the FBI report. Jeff Flake and Susan Collins calling it very thorough.
But thus far, we've seen no incredible corroboration.
The report contains summaries from interviews and witnesses regarding Kavanaugh's alleged sexual misconduct decades ago. But Judge Kavanaugh and his first accuser, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, were not interviewed. Blasey Ford's attorneys said in a statement they're profoundly disappointed. Those directing the FBI investigation were not interested in seeking the truth. Kavanaugh has repeatedly denied the allegations against him.
It looks to be a product of an incomplete investigation that was limited, perhaps by the White House.
President Trump tweeting this morning, "This is now the 7th time the FBI has investigated Judge Kavanaugh. If we made it 100, it would still not be good enough for the obstructionist Democrats." Those who knew Kavanaugh in the early 80s coming forward about his drinking and his character.
It surprised me a lot to hear him say that he never blacked out.
He's not that guy, I'm telling you. Did he drink? Yes. Did he take it too far? No.
Some senators have complained about the backlog to review this FBI report because there's only one copy in the room. The confirmation vote could happen as early as this weekend. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
Time Magazine's latest cover brings together the face of Christine Blasey Ford with her testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee last week. The illustration is composed of words and phrases Ford used during that testimony. An artist drew each letter by hand. He placed the words in symbolically significant locations in the illustration. Quotes about Ford's memories were placed on her forehead. Quotes about wanting help were placed on her hands. A suspect is now in custody after being accused of killing a police officer and shooting 6 other officers during a violent standoff in South Carolina. Investigators say Florence County Sheriff's deputies were serving a search warrant at a home when a man opened fire, hitting 3 deputies and 4 officers. Officer Terrence Caraway, a 30-year veteran on the force, was killed.
Today we lost a good friend of mine, an officer that I've known for 30 years.
Suspect then barricaded himself inside along with children for more than 2 hours. More than 100 officers responded to the scene, the man eventually surrendering after talking with a negotiator. According to the Associated Press, authorities are identifying the suspect now as 74-year-old Frederick Hopkins. The Jacksonville restaurant where 3 people died during a shooting at a video game tournament is planning to reopen. The Florida Times-Union reporting Chicago Pizza and Sports Grill will open tomorrow. The Game Bar located inside that restaurant, though, will remain closed for now. The bar needs approval from city regulators before reopening. Back on August 26th, investigators say 24-year-old gamer David Katz opened fire during the tournament. He died in that shooting. Sarasota Police will soon have several new team members. 5 new officers will be sworn into duty at 2 p.m. Friday. Chief Bernadette DePino will also be donating law enforcement trust funds to local community organizations that teach crime prevention and drug abuse prevention. Coming up in your Suncoast News, a community in Sarasota is being taken over by what's called midge flies. We'll hear what the community is doing to manage the problem. Plus, an agency in Florida working to make tougher penalties for people who make scam calls. And we're only 12 days into fall, but it's already feeling like winter in other parts of the country where the first snowfall is happening.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
A policeman stopped. Yeah, it was the lady parked next to me.
I called my wife.
My dad got up in the middle of the night.
My neighbor helped me out.
I called a tow truck.
Anyone can jumpstart your car, but for replacing a dead battery and installing it for free, there's no one like Batteries Plus bulbs.
I'll install it myself.
I'd like you to do it.
Visit batteriesplus.com for a store near you.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore, but there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
I heard about the Dotole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotole Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Know your land, know your prey.
What are we doing?
Saturdays at 5:30 and Sundays at 2 on the ABC7 live stream.
Discover immunotherapy and find out how your body's natural immune system can become your greatest hope in the fight against cancer. Speak with your doctor and visit su2c.org/immunotherapy to learn more.
Download the all-new ABC7 First Alert weather app now.
Midge flies have invaded a Lakewood Ranch condo community, and now residents there are saying enough is enough. ABC 7's Jackie Kelly talked with the president of Watercrest Condominium Association and shows us what they're dealing with. Jackie?
Scott, these condos are located alongside a lake which attracts the midge flies, otherwise known as blind mosquitoes. Now, the president of the condos say that midge flies are nothing new, but he's never seen it quite this bad. Now, take a look at this picture. All of those black dots on the white car are midge flies. Residents say that walkways turn completely black as well from all the dead flies. Lakewood Ranch Town Hall has decided to allocate $50,000 to managing this problem by using a chemical treatment, hand spraying, and attracting the flies' natural predators. And at 6 o'clock, you'll hear from the condo's president, and he'll actually say if he thinks that all these efforts will help solve the problem. Back to you.
All right, Jackie, thank you. Well, it's officially fall, but as the warm weather persists in the Sunshine State, Florida Fish and Wildlife want to remind you that alligators still very active and visible this time of year. While serious injuries by gators are uncommon, it's still strongly recommended to take precautions when you're having some fun or hanging out around freshwater lakes, ponds, or streams. And check your fridge because millions of pounds of beef have been recalled due to a salmonella outbreak. JBS Tolleson is pulling 6.5 million pounds of beef products. They were packaged between July 26th and September 7th. They have the USDA inspection mark EST267. The recall is connected to 57 cases of salmonella illnesses reported across 16 different states. Florida Department of Financial Services will work to toughen penalties for crooks who trick people into answering their mobile phones. Cell phone scammers are now using fake phone numbers to make it look like they're calling you from a local number. Known as neighborhood spoofing, the scammer makes the incoming call appear to look like that local number to the person answering the phone. Department of Financial Services officials say beyond that just being annoying, many unwanted cell phone calls end up costing Floridians money.
These calls are more than just a nuisance. This is a way for scam artists to, steal your hard-earned money. It's a new innovative way that they're using, it's definitely a problem that we see nationwide and, of course, here in Florida.
A new law that took effect in July authorizes phone companies to block robocalls, but has been little help. According to a recent report, roughly half of all cell phone calls made in America next year will be scams, up from about 29% this year. Amazon had a hit on its hands with hundreds of thousands of workers this week when it announced it's setting a company-wide minimum wage of $15 an hour. But that deal also includes some cuts. Warehouse workers will no longer get bonuses based on attendance and productivity, and the company is phasing out a program that gave stock to workers. In addition to October being Fire Prevention Month, the Sarasota County Fire Department is showing its support for breast cancer awareness. County's Emergency Services Department posting these photos to Twitter of firefighters wearing special T-shirts to support breast cancer awareness throughout the month of October. Overseas now to Indonesia, where survivors of that devastating earthquake and tsunami are desperately searching for food, water, and shelter. More than 1,400 people have died in the disaster. ABC's James Longman is in Palu, where aid is in short supply.
New images this morning of the moment that 7.5 magnitude earthquake struck. You can see from this perspective the terror as the earth starts to crumble beneath. And more personal stories of loss and survival.
We've heard about a church where unfortunately a group of children were killed when the quake hit. It's impossible to drive on, so we've got to get these bikes to weave our way through.
We journeyed past home after home, almost completely destroyed. The tarmac split. Finally, we have to stop.
So we've come to the end of the road now, literally. This road would have continued, but such was the force of this earthquake that it shifted the land. Everything that you see here was about 1 kilometre up there, and all the homes, the community that was here, gone.
And along with it, the church where that children's Bible group was meeting. One of the survivors says the ground started moving around her. She says it was like the trees, the houses were all dancing, water and mud bursting through the ground. I was swept away, she says, holding onto a palm tree. When it finally stopped, I found myself 3 kilometers away in the next village. 27-year-old Anki says at least 100 were gathered in the church, among them the junior Bible camp. Many of her friends still missing. At least 1,400 people are known to have died in this disaster, a number that's set to rise as rescuers continue their search.
That's James.
All right, well, here we go. Casey Key now, webcam. We went up to Holmes Beach earlier. Now we're down to Casey Key. Another nice shot, private beach there, so you don't see a lot of folks out there, but flat, calm seas. And the water looking a little bit better, and that's what we're getting reports of. We had some photos sent in. I'll be showing those at 5 of near Siesta Key as well, looking a little bit better there. Well, the high-pressure ridge is the reason why we're going to continue in summer. It is now located over parts of the southeast United States. This high pressure actually sprawls all the way down into the northern Gulf of Mexico. Large area of high pressure here. Now, this high pressure is going to get shifted around a little bit. It's going to move off to the south and east, I think, over the upcoming days. That will give us a little bit more of a southeasterly wind component, which will actually bring us a little bit better moisture content our way for us. It looks like next week, in fact, as the low pressure down in the Caribbean starts to get into the Gulf of Mexico. So that high pressure, which has been kind of blocking everything, is going to get bumped around a little bit by this low, and that will be the determining factor as to where the system may be heading. Now, we've had some showers. We have one there located now just moving off of Holmes Beach. Had a brief shower there. That has since moved on. Also had some rain near Palmasola. And then as you move off to the east, some bigger storms now into Wauchula. The forecast is calling for scattered showers, a few thunderstorms. We're seeing a little bit more thunderstorm activity into central Florida this afternoon. Most of it should be over by 9. We'll see clearing skies, and it looks like tomorrow a few showers are possible. Once again, early in the afternoon, we'll see a few spotty showers all the way up until around 6, 7 o'clock. I think most of the rain should be out of here by the start of football Friday night tomorrow, and the rain chance is actually going down a little bit for us on Friday, but they'll still be at 30%, so there'll be a few around. And then on Saturday, not much of a chance for rain. Better chances come as we move towards Sunday. That dry air that was around yesterday has moved out into the Gulf of Mexico. It's thinning out now, as you can see, so not as much Dry air in place means a little bit more rainfall around. And speaking of storms, look at this one. This one's still out there in the Atlantic. This is Leslie. Leslie's been out there over 10 days now, just spinning around and not moving much. Now it's drifting off to the north. Still a hurricane, but could be downgraded to a tropical storm soon as it's moving over some cooler waters from where it once was. Well, this tropical disturbance is what we're focusing on, and will do so over the next couple of days. Nothing too organized at this point. The wind shear just too strong. You can see these clouds ripping off to the northeast, but the lower clouds, definitely a counterclockwise swirl there, and that would indicate that we do have a low pressure area. The chances of it developing over the next 5 days has been bumped up now to 40%. And we'll watch that number get higher. It has shifted a little bit off to the west, too. Forecast models are suggesting that it could either go off to the north or to the northwest in time. But with all this shear around, it's not going to be developing over the next couple of days. But by Sunday, we'll have a better idea as to where it may go and whether it will develop or not. Water temperature is extremely warm there in the Gulf of Mexico. Again, there's Leslie. There's a track it's already followed. You can just see it kind of looping around out there in the Atlantic, then down south, then up north, and then eventually it's going to go back to almost where it began. In fact, the cone of uncertainty has it there, pretty close to it, in 5 days. So Leslie doesn't want to go away. It is generating some big waves already along the coast, up to 7-foot waves there on the east coast of Florida. And those will get higher, too. As long as Leslie is out there, it will generate some pretty big waves from that system. East winds at 10 knots for us tomorrow. Seas will be running 1 to 2 feet. There'll be a light chop out there in the bays. And looks like the forecast for the next 7 days. Then a slight chance for showers tomorrow, less on Saturday, bouncing to 30. A little bit more so on Columbus Day from Monday, 40% chances. Then look at this, rain chances increases, and we're watching the tropics. Either way, we're going to get some more tropical moisture kind of moving on in to the Suncoast by midweek next week. Be sure to download our ABC7 weather app if you haven't done so already. We appreciate all the folks who have downloaded it, and we'll be updating that on the tropics too throughout the evening tonight. And you can follow along with what Leslie is doing and what Michael may be doing if Michael does develop. And as I said, a 40% chance of it developing over the next 5 days.
We know you'll watch it for us. Well, fall is finally here, and parts of Washington State are already looking a little bit like winter. Take a look at the first snow of the season falling in Stevens Pass. Skiers and snowboarders obviously excited for the upcoming season, but unfortunately there isn't much snow to ski on just yet. Only about a ½ an inch or an inch fell yesterday, not unusual for this time of year, and it's already starting to melt.
I've skied there before, and they've had some snow, and it's snowing now, right now in North Dakota. Snowboarders will likely have to wait around until the 1st of November to start seeing the snow really stack up there. Some areas of western Washington dipped up to 20 degrees, but the cold isn't expected to last too long. Temperatures should remain near normal for October temperatures over the next few days, but we're not getting those normal temperatures here or fall for some time.
Well, we're still waiting for it. Definitely. Thank you, Bob. Still to come, being on a TV game show may be on the bucket list for some people. Or for one local man, the dream became a reality.
I'm Linda Carson from Suncoast View. Coming up Friday morning live at 9, we'll try our hands at white cane navigation and learn how it helps those with impaired vision gain independence. It's Financial Friday. Learn how to beef up your wallet. Free Fall Theater gives us a preview of the Fantastics, and Simply Gourmet is going to be in our kitchen. That's coming up tomorrow morning live at 9.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Blue 32! Blue 32! Hut hut! It's the Gatto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Gatto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Gatto location near you or visit Gatto.com.
Gattle's got it. Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, Guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991. Now, in one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
An Englewood man got the chance of a lifetime to be on Wheel of Fortune. Timothy Mark is a local pastor and will appear on the popular game show Friday. He jokes that even though he's a motivational speaker, an author, singer, published songwriter, none of that helped him solve the puzzles on the show. He auditioned by sending in a 1-minute video and then auditioned in person in Tampa last year. Shortly afterward, he was told he would be a contestant within the next 18 months, and it finally happened. We wish him luck. Let's get back to Bob now for a final look at our evening forecast.
Yeah, it's so much easier now with the internet, right? You can do some films, videos, and then put them together and send them pretty quickly off to the producers there. Here's what's happening for your beach walk forecast tonight. Looks to be pretty good. East winds always help out with the actual ambient air as far as that moving off to the Gulf of Mexico. And sky right now, we're looking for partly cloudy skies. We'll see sunset right around 7:13, and looks like isolated showers around. We'll have more at 5. Scott.
All right, Bob, thank you. And thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again at 5 o'clock.